Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Clayton Art Club. I hope you're doing well. Sorry, my art page is a bit wonky there. I think my camera's slightly wonky, but never mind. Just going to double check everything is in focus for you guys. Yep, that looks... Yep, I'm going to turn the sound off as well so we don't get a double. So... I'm also just going to double check that my YouTube stream is coming through as well, so just bear with me a second. Yes, that's coming through as well. Brilliant. So let me just jump onto the comments, see if any comments have come through yet. So feel free to say hello. Tell me what you've been doing today, if you art this week or anything like that. So this is what we drew last week anyway. So we drew Volker from Spider-Man. But yeah, I'm pretty much up for drawing most things. I'm up for a challenge. I've got an idea for doing a robot crocodile, but if you guys have a better idea, then feel free to tell me. So just a few announcements before we get started. So if you're interested in stop animation, I've been making these little boxes. So you get instructions, you get a couple of plasticines, you get a little dude, and you get some little eyes. So if you're interested in those, please let me know. But yeah, I've been busy making some of these for you guys. They're very exciting. Hello, who's saying hello in the comments? Let's have a look. Matthew, hello Matthew, how you doing? Got any cool ideas for today? I was thinking a robot crocodile, but I'm happy to draw what you suggest as well. So it's just here, I'll just show everyone. That's just Matthew's comment down the bottom. I'm also wearing my colourful top, my awesome top. And I've got a bit of light today, so I can illuminate things, and hopefully everything's in focus. I'm using my phone, so hopefully the internet connection should be a bit more consistent. I can't see any dropping of frames, which is good. And the battery on my camera's charged, so we should be good to go. So, do you like the idea of a robot crocodile, I'm guessing? Right, let's get my paper out. Yep, got my pens, got me alcohol markers and a couple of normal pens. So I've got some pencils. I've got my. I'll get them out properly and show you. So apart from my vivid collection of pens, I've got some black pens of different thicknesses. I've got a few more over there. I've got my pencils, I've got a 4B, a 2B and a 2H, and I've got some white pens which are very cool as well. I'm going to put the light, I think. Hopefully that doesn't, just puts the light in a slightly different place. I'm going to zoom out as well. So... what do you think, Matthew? Should we do a robot crocodile or should we do something else? What do you think? I'm going to use the 2B to start with, I think. Right. ROBO CROC, that sounds awesome. So I'm going to kind of do an organic shape of a crocodile, but I'm going to do it square as well. So I'm just going to start off focusing on the head, I think. So starting with the nose, trying to block it out in terms of a cube. So I'm just thinking of a cube. because they kind of have a long snout. I can't remember, is it alligators or crocodiles? I can't remember that have the I can't quite remember. Is everything in focus for you guys? I just want to make sure that you can see it clearly and it's not blurred. If it is, I can quickly. I've got it on manual focus at the moment, so it should be focused on the. It should be focused here. Oh, it's in focus. That's awesome. Thank you, Matthew. So this is the top jaw. They're rebuilding our road outside, so it's a little bit noisy, so I do apologise if you see ambient sounds. So he's going to have his mouth open, I think. So I'll come down here. Some big jaws. Because he's a robot, the teeth are going to fit in there, I think. And we'll have some kind of place where the other teeth come. And then that'll be where the other teeth go, I think. Now I just want to check. I think that needs to be a bit shorter. And I can zoom in as well. Oh. Hopefully that will stay in focus. It looks like it's still in focus. Okay. And then we'll have a big thing for the bottom of the jaw. And then we need some kind of eye. I kind of want this this mouth to be narrower. Now I know if you look at the anatomy of crocodiles and alligators, one of them can go in seawater, I think, and one of them can't. But one of them has a long nose, and some of them have like quite a short nose, depending on if they can kind of like snap around and grab stuff. Then it's good to have a long nose. So depending on if you eat fish, or if you like trying to grab like big animals off the edge of the water. So depending on what your natural prey is, so like certain animals are kind of tailored to certain prey, if you know what I mean. So depending on what their prey is, they have different mouths. So if you look at the baryonyx, which we did a while ago, they have a very crocodile-like mouth, and that's because they hunt fish. So they can basically be swimming around, and a fish is here, and they can go, and they can snap it with the long nose. Whereas I think it's alligators, they have a shorter mouth, so they can clamp on, and they've got stronger jaws, but they're not eating fish. So hopefully that makes sense. He's just said more. Oh, hi Nick, welcome to the stream. Hopefully we're going to have no more connection issues like we normally do, but you never know with these streams. We're doing a robot crocodile today. He's looking quite organic at the moment. We're just discussing why crocodiles have long snouts, whereas alligators have short snouts, and also they're digging up the road outside my house, so that's why you can hear a bit of a racket. So I want some kind of robotic shoulders, I think, and then I don't know, what do you think it should have on the back? Do you think it should have some kind of robot, some kind of cannon on its back or something? I'm not sure. I'll make this more robotic as we go, but it could be in water. There's what would be his shadow, so just building up on kind of the gist of his skeleton is basically it's pretty much the same as a lizard. I mean, he is a lizard, but and then we're going to have some really cool robotic claws here. The position of my light is actually making a shadows fall, so I might put the light in a different place. I don't know. The shadows are probably a little bit annoying. That's alright. So just a thought, if you come into the woodwork thing this afternoon, just to let you know that there is roadworks. They're digging up the tarmac outside my house, so I don't know if they'll be finished by 2 o'clock when you guys come, but it might be worth you parking a little bit further down the road and walking up, just because yeah, you can't park outside the house if they're working. I had thought that they would be done a few days ago, but it's just taken a bit longer. So this would be all in shadow under the mouth, and be a lot of shadow under here. I kind of want this to kind of come out a bit. Kind of match this part, long snout, and then sharp teeth. What do you think, guys? Think it looks good? I need to make it look a bit more robotic, I think. And some plates going down the back. We'll just trail off into shadow, I think. Gonna check. We haven't got any. No, we haven't got any comments on the. Let me just check the YouTube stream a minute. Hello, if you're watching from YouTube land. Test. Let me just see if those comments are coming through. It seems to be working. The comment hasn't come through, but never mind. I'm sure they're there. Okay, let's get on with this drawing because I'm dawdling, I think. So, any other features? What features do you think I should make sure I'm including? I don't know. Cannons on the back, lasers, cybernetic scars. What makes a good robot? So overall, I'm quite happy with how this is looking. What I'm doing is I'm just breaking up my areas to look a bit more robotic. Maybe some pistons. Could have a cannon coming out of his mouth or something, maybe. I don't know. And I think just adding these kind of chronolations, I think it'll look a bit better when we get onto our pens, I think. So I'm going to have a kind of ridge line coming down here. I think something like this. I'm going to jump onto pens now anyway. Now, let's have a look. Using my old friend the brush pen. Now he was running out last time, so it might be time for a new brush pen. I think it is running out, unfortunately. So I will have to use a big black bold normal pen, which is still good. What I'm doing is I'm drawing a line down the teeth because it's robotic. It's not as organic as maybe a real life crocodile's tooth would be a lot more smoother, worn down, whereas this guy is a robot, so So we're just enforcing the lines of what I want to keep from the pencil, ignoring the lines that I don't really want to keep, but to be fair, I probably want to keep most of them. Just trying to draw in maybe some of the mechanics in the mouth, just to maybe this is like a specially designed submarine and these are the stairs that you use to get into it. You know, like a animal inspired tank or something cool. Who knows? So this area here is a bit less exposed. I kind of want to show kind of a bit of where the joints would be for the neck under the paneling, if that makes sense. So because you'd probably be using imitations of muscles, but some things would just have to be mechanical, and you need space. If you've ever done animatronics, which I have, you need space to enable things. So if this moved its head this way, you wouldn't want a piece of armour here because that would stop it from moving. So in a logical sense, you'd either have a plate that moves, a bit like how Iron Man moves, or if you're making a big robot and this area isn't critical, then you wouldn't need to necessarily armour it up, depending on the designer of this. So I just added some extra detail here, and I just want to add some, yeah, that's cool. So just doing some patterning on the back now. What do you think, Matthew? Do you like it? Is it looking alright? So I imagine this area of the back is so it can almost stand up or something like that. So I'm drawing what would be panels and muscles. So I'm trying to pretend that these are like biomuscles that are like robotic, and the way muscles work are they're basically lots of, in real life, muscles are basically like linear actuators, which are a bit like pistons that go back and forth. But if you imagine a muscle, it's got lots of strands and they all pull together. So my muscle for this is here, and they all go this way. And then the joint is here, so this would pull this bone this way, and then this would pull this bone here. Very technical here. So the joints are here, that's the joints, but the muscles are here. So if you're imitating that, these strands make pull this way. So you can see how my lines in my hand go like this, and these muscles here are what pull the knuckles. So this contracts as the muscles contract, and then muscles are always in pairs, so you have muscles here that pull it back again. So you can see the joint is here, and you've got muscles here probably that pull it back. If you can imagine that, you can even see it there. And then you have muscles kind of here that pull them back again. Anyway, so you can factor in robotic muscles, and if you can even draw the strands and imagine these are made of lots of different wires and things, and depending on what power you want your robot to be working on, it could be working on some kind of arc reactor or battery powered, or it could be steam powered, and you could have exhausts and fuel, and could be powered off like petroleum or something like that. So I need some big claws here. Bigger. And to be fair, the main weapon is his teeth and his mouth. So this is to dig into the ground so that he can really foundation himself in, and it means he can then push with his front legs and grab onto his prey and pull. So these are going to be really strong. The back legs are probably going to help with that. So that's if he wants to eat things that are on the shoreline. Whereas if he was like more of a fish hunter, then he'd have more ability to swim. So he might have more webbed feet. He might have lighter arms that are more fin-like, so he could swim better. Whereas these guys just chill out when they see something on the edge of the water that they fancy, then they'll just stalk up, pop their head out of the water, and then snap, and then these strong arms will pull their prey back into the water. That's the gist of it anyway. I'm not going to bother too much about this area. I'm focusing and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some ridges just to make it look a bit more just adding some robot details. Just because I want to. So far so good. I think this stream is a lot more stable since I've been using my phone as a source, so I think that might be the way in the future. If it's choppy for you, please tell me. If you have any feedback on these streams, please tell me, because it helps. I'm just going to check that. Yep. Cool. I'm just adding little grooves, little dents, and these little these are supposed to look like dents, which will help me when I'm on to the next part, which will be the inking. I'm just going to have a quick look for rubber. I probably don't have one. Do I have a rubber? I normally have a rubber, but being as organised as I am, I don't think I do. Never mind. What have I done with my rubber? Just have a little look around. Okay, I don't know where it is. Unless it's fallen on the floor. Never mind. The inks will cover it over, and probably. So what you can do is you can add a little bit of shade with the pencils, and that does add a bit to when you're inking with the pens. Now I'm thinking a green I'm thinking a green crocodile, but I'm happy to do it in a different colour if you think different. So feel free to fire your colours at me. We could do a pink and green one, or green and blue with bits of black, or something else. So fire ideas at me. I'm going to make you work by giving me ideas. Let's add more spikes. Turn these kind of side areas into a bit more of a kind of lumpy ridge. Yeah. Something like that. Definitely going to go for red eyes though. I think that's mandatory, isn't it? So I've just jumped onto my main red, and this is quite a dark red. In fact, it's really dark. Why is this so dark? It's not normally. Maybe just wait for it to dry. And then I'm going to jump onto a really pale, almost orange, and just mix that in. Now that looks red to me. There we go. What I've done is left the light at the front, and then later on I can just come back with this. I can do it right now. And I think that looks quite cool, just for the eyes. So let's think about some green. So I definitely want the armour to be green, but I do want to add some greys in there. So I'm just going to start with quite a lightish green, and I'm going to focus on the armour parts. I was going to leave sections where I want to put the lighter shades or the darker shades. I'm going to focus on, and it's going to be more royal green almost than this, but I think the inside I'll do it in a slightly different colour. So I want these areas to be green, these areas red and black. Oh, red and black. Sorry, I've only just seen that message. We can incorporate some red and black into it, I think. I'm kind of going to gloss over on the back legs a bit because the focus is on the teeth and the front and everything like that. So, I mean, obviously, if you're spending more than an hour, which is all the time we have today, then obviously spend more time on the back. Maybe position your model or your drawing a bit further forward. I'm gonna drop my pen down the bottom. Oh gosh, there we go. Let's start darkening this up a bit. So under the eyes, a bit more green. I'm going to go darker in a minute with this. I'm going to leave that little circle there that I drew. Try and overlap into the other colours just so that they merge a bit. I think these things come alive when you add a bit of colour. Can look very flat until you start applying a little bit. As you see, as the alcohol dries, he's going a little bit lighter. So it's at that point that you can then think about darker shades. Filling it in. Darker at the bottom where there's more space for shadows and creases and crevices that the light finds it harder to get to. Lighter on top. And I'll make these into kind of muscly, pipey things. Definitely going to need another darker shade of green, I think, in a second. Try this green, see how it is. Ooh, lovely and dark. Okay. I don't want to put too much of this in at the moment, until I'm convinced of how it'll come out, but I do want some areas to be a bit darker, like the bits that are overshadowed by parts that are above, crevices between the teeth. Fill in the gaps in the middle, I think. So, what do you think, Matthew? What do you think is the story behind this? Who do you think created this monster of the swamp. It's a crazy inventor, or do you think an accident, or a robot fell in a vat of alien juice and turned into a crocodile, or they put a crocodile in a pool of nanites and this is what happened? What do you think's the story? What do you think? Or do you think this is a military idea to make battle submarine tank things that could eat ships from under the water, inspired off crocodile? And I'm going to jump on the really dark green now. Get right into those really dark areas. I kind of want to do a different colour for the inside of the mouth. Maybe like a fire, or I don't know. We'll be coming back over this in a moment with the white pens anyway, so that will make things pop a little bit more. Starting to look quite good, I think. I'm going to come across with just a little hue of blue. I'm just going to try and blend a little bit the colours. This is a very light blue, and hopefully it'll just make it look a bit better. So, Ninja Turtle, the CROC into a... Oh, Nanites and the CROC into Cyborg. Yeah, that's cool. I kind of want the mouth to be a kind of nice pinkish colour. Kind of like, I don't know, fire mixed with green. It's my logic. So I'm using 2 shades of pink, maybe a light pink. Maybe the nanites were an experiment at a place on a secret base near the swamp, and some of them leaked out and infected the local life, plant life, and I don't know if you've ever watched Dragon Ball Z. There's a guy called Cell who's one of the villains, or is it Piccolo maybe. There's some characters. And his muscles are a different colour. So he's kind of like a green guy and all his muscles are like, I can't remember, pink or red or something. So he's looking a little bit like this. And then we'll just add some grey. My old friend grey. I often think grey is an overlooked colour that people don't think about much, but when used with other colours it can be really powerful just by darkening without adding any shade. Blending in a bit of grey here and there, maybe a bit here and a little bit here. And add a little bit of not quite pink, maybe violet or whatever this colour is, just to be a little bit different. And then I think the teeth need to be a yellowish colour, I think. I'm deliberately leaving one edge white because I think it looks good. I'm going to get a really pale desaturated white here, I mean yellow, just at the bottom. And hopefully this is looking good. I'm going to add a bit of yellow. Really going to show, but just going to add a tiny bit of yellow. And it just adds a little bit of warmth. And if I add a tiny bit of blue, you guessed it, it adds a bit of cool. And I think going to go around the edge because he's going to be an aqua crocodile. Add a little bit of blue around the edge, just more where I want to suggest that some of his body's either casting a shadow in the water or there's some And then I want to fill the rest out with a really light blue. Intermediate blue in the middle, maybe. Kind of want that to blend more. That's just to take away from the greeny water of the crocodile. Right, I think it's time to add some white. Let me just check the excuse me. You can see now, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Just going to add some more white in a few places just to we've just got 5 minutes left of this stream, so just finishing off. I'm just using this white pen just on the areas that would really catch the sun. There'd be a glisten on the teeth. And I could probably add some dark areas into here as well. Can add some kind of lots W kind of shapes across it to kind of give a texture of kind of like scales, because yeah, crocodiles have scales. Ogres have layers, crocodiles have scales. I'm just going to put some dark greys in the crevices. Love that word, crevice. So using the grey on top of my dark green areas retains the green, but it just adds an absolute load of shade. It's ideal. And sometimes you come back and you say, oh, it just needs more shade, and other times you're like, well, it's a bit too dark. You have to come back with some light. What do you guys think? Would you like to meet this on a robotic dark night when you're swimming? Make a good surfboard, wouldn't it? A surfboard with teeth. Giant submarine crocodile robot tank thing, created by nanites by a crazy inventor who accidentally spilt them into the swamp, and all the indigenous life became robotic and evil. No! I don't know what that means. Is that no, I'm doing something wrong? Or is it I'm making you feel scared by talking about giant crocodile robot monsters? Hey, this looks cool. I think we need a bit more dark in there as well. Might be a bit too dark. I might get a lighter grey in there as well. Oh, I think that's the ticket. A nice lightish grey. Let's zoom out again. I'm just going to highlight that comment that says, I would not like to meet it. You would if you had the remote control for it though, surely. You'd run around, take it with you when you went to the shops, and carry your bags in his mouth, all your shopping in his mouth or something. What would you name him? ROBO CROC? Teethy? Crocinator? A Crocborg? Crocorg or Crocorgian? I don't know. Help me with the name, Matthew. I need a... or anyone else watching. Crocky. Crocbot. Or Croc Tank, or Battle Croc. That'd be cool. Nano Croc. So I'm just going over with my white pen, just regaining detail, trying to break up areas that are just a bit too much of one colour, or where the transition just looks a bit garbage. Battle Croc. Okay, he's called Battle Croc. So what I'm doing now is I'm just dotting around with this very I don't know, very autumny, kind of rotteny, not autumny, kind of soggy, swampish brown, and I'm just breaking up now. Battle CROC. Yeah, he's called Battle CROC. I'm just adding these tiny bits, and when this dries it goes a bit lighter, so I'm not too worried when it looks a bit dark to begin with. And I'm just trying to break up, just imagining there's a bit more texture to this. You know, he'll have a bit of swamp on him, he'll have a bit of not rust, but algae or whatever, luminescent algae. Robots get dirty too. Robots need to wash. Cool. Just adding tiny dots, which at first don't really do much. You can't really see, but I think it just adds a little bit of texture. And watch this. Double time. And then you just dab it with your finger just to take off the kind of really bright. Look at this skill. And then just with my hand just smudging it off. This is a secret to all my art, is really grab two pens at the same time and just dab it with white once you've overloaded it with normal colour. It probably looked better before, but never mind. Right, let's write Battle CROC. Let me put my lids back on my pens. And I don't know where my calligraphy pen is. It's probably over here somewhere. There it is. Right, Battle CROC. Or, yeah, Battle CROC. Battle CROC. Snap Battle CROC. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Snap Battle CROC. There we go, Snap Battle CROC. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm going to add a little bit of shadow under this. A a little bit of air above it. There we go. The art is complete. And I've run over by 8 minutes. So I do all 7 minutes. So I do apologise if you were expecting only an hour. But the art demanded more. So thank you so much, guys, for joining. Looking forward to seeing you guys woodwork this afternoon doing boat. So not a full-size boat, obviously. Model size. You get to see the garage doors. Just be aware that the road is being dug a little bit, so you might find that you need to park further down the road. Don't forget that I'm creating... hang on, just put my pens away like an organised person. Don't forget that I'm making these as well. So if you're interested in getting a little animation kit or something for Christmas, that's quite a cool gift. And I will see you next week, hopefully, where I don't know what will happen next time. But anyway, this is Battle CROC. Snap Battle CROC. What a dude. Really happy with that. I think it looks cool. I think if I was doing it again, I would consider the tail. I'd probably make it going for a fish or something, I don't know. But anyway, thank you so much for coming, and I will see you guys next time. Okay? Alright, take care, guys. Thank you so much for coming.